Ladies and gentlemen, I'm KageKaze, and you might remember a while back I talked about a little game made entirely in Flash that was going to come out on Facebook called Chronoblade. You might even remember I gave out a few beta keys for said game. Well, Chronoblade has officially hit open beta status, so you no longer need a beta key to play. So if you've been interested in it, maybe you were interested in it before, maybe I might interest you in it now, you can just go to chronoblade.com and click the Play Now button. As long as you have a Facebook account, all you have to do is sign into it and you're playing the game. It's entirely in Flash still, and it's just a minor, quick download, pretty much progress bar goes across the screen and you're playing. You don't have to install anything. The game is constantly being updated. And the devs behind this game honestly seem like really fantastic people. It is a indie studio called nWay, but it's by no means a group of amateurs. These are a group of people that have been across multiple high-end projects from several high-end studios, so they seem like a great group. I've worked with them a bit for getting the game out there. As you saw, I had beta keys and whatnot. That's all thanks to them, their PR team, and their devs. And their devs are listening quite a bit on their forums. I've been away from the game for a bit. I was playing it fairly actively a while back, but I was communicating with them quite a bit, giving suggestions, ideas, and they were taking a lot of that in stride and listening to the community. And the game has really changed quite a bit. At its core, it's still the same, but they've added a few new features here and there. So what I want to do is go through the game real quick and try and notice some of the new features that have been put into it. As a matter of fact, since I played this just a couple days ago, I'm noticing there's some new icons up here. So the game has been patched again since I last played. You can invite friends to play. It looks like there's an in-game mailbox now, so they will have ways of giving out promotional items and things like that. It looks like this is kind of new. Send gifts to your friends. It looks like you can take a friend and send them a free gift box, and you can do this every 18 hours. So I see why they would do that, right? So if you had multiple Facebook accounts, you could just send gifts to yourself. So you have an 18-hour cooldown on it. I have no idea what's in that, though, but that's kind of cool that you can send that to a friend. So the options menu has improved dramatically from when I last was playing. In fact, this really didn't have an option menu the last time I put out a video on it. You do have levels for the sound effects now, which is really great to see, because this game had such loud music. The music was good, but if I was trying to talk to people on Skype or anything like that, I had to basically disable the music. I couldn't even turn it down. There's even a visual quality setting now, not any real major settings. Again, it is Flash. You're not going to see massive amounts of PC settings like anti-aliasing and things like that. So, but at least you can change the quality if your computer is not very good and you are having a hard time running a 3D game in Flash. Now, let's see, there's a nice little menu at the top now. It's not a blocky side menu. I can click on Continue the Journey to get to the map. Let's go ahead and do that now. What you might notice right away is that there's been a few visual changes here. I mentioned before that you had challenges, so those were added. It's nice to see they're still here. They are a little easier to understand, it looks like. But there's also these exclamation marks, which you might recognize if you've played MMOs, is usually an indicator there's a quest going on here. And that's exactly what this is. Some of these areas now have quests that change up as you do them. So here I have a quest that I can collect Feldspar Left's Eye, which basically just means I play through the game. I play through that level, and if I beat that monster, I get the item. And it gives me this reward here that's used in crafting. As a matter of fact, this is new to me. The crafting menu was up here before, but it was in gray. It looks like this patch has introduced crafting. So we get to explore and learn about that together. Oh, I'm actually kind of excited. Wow, I knew they were going to add it. I didn't think it was going to happen yet. So it looks like all that junk I sold recently, I'm going to kick myself for selling it. But yeah, you have different quests. There's difference between yellow and green. I can't really say what the differences are. I haven't found a way to find out for sure. But I do like the fact that there are quests, that you can get items, and this gives you incentive to go back and defeat these earlier levels. Like here I can get a potion that gives me health regeneration. So there are ways to get items just by performing these quests. It looks like this is how you're going to get most of your crafting materials now too. Aside from that, if you notice, if I mouse over any one of these, it will show you the boss of the zone and the loot you can expect from that boss. Now here's the thing, I have noticed when I completed an area with a SSS ranking, the item that I got from what's listed here came out in epic form. So the item which would normally be blue, because I did really well, the item ended up becoming a purple. And so they do reward you for performing well in this game. So that's really cool. I really like to see that. Before I move on, let's just take a look. Let's see what's changed here. The inventory screen. Ooh, this has gone through an overhaul. This is nice. The quick use items have been moved from over here to the left underneath the character. Looks like I have been given a gift chest. It's a gift from a friend, no less. Let's go ahead and double click. Let's see what we get. Maybe it's not working right now. That's a shame. Alright, I see the text is a little bit easier to read than the last time I saw here, so that's kind of nice to see. I have a locked out slot for some reason. So there's still some bugs. Looks like the repair and repair all have been moved to icons here, as well as the cell instead of text. So a few aesthetic changes here. Not bad. I don't know why I cannot click you. Oh well, it might be because I'm recording. I'll have to look at it later. Let's look at the crafting though. This is completely new. What do we get? Drag an item to the slot to be crafting. What happens if I drag potions? Required materials. It takes 4 energy potions. The result is a minor armor power-up, which gives me armor. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. What happens if I move like a piece of gear? Oh, okay. So now I can take my armor, which has, this is 40 armor plus 4 and 60 to health. It will give me an epic version of that item. This is level 7, looks like. This is still level 7, so it's going to convert it to an epic level of the same level item. And the armor goes up by, it looks like 11. It gives me more armor, health, damage absorption, and maximum energy. It takes these bog irons, it takes some of the moldy boots, so items, and an Yggdrasil amber. Yggdrasil amber. Right. So these items that I can get from doing the quests each day will allow me to craft more often, and then it gives me use for some of the trash. So the crafting is not really complex. It looks like crafting in this game is not really creating something new, but augment. I don't even know if I would call it crafting. I would call it augmentation. In fact, that might be a better name for it, for them in the menus or something like that. But the point is made, I feel, here. The point is gotten across to the player that you can make something and turn it into something else. But that's pretty cool to see that it's not really hard to get into. You just put the item in there and you can start crafting. Now it looks like I can, if I don't have the materials, it looks like I can use the gems, the crystals, which is the real money currency in the game. So there's another reason to have real money currency, and it's not like I'm buying something, you know, a whole bunch of power. I have to have an existing item to begin with, and as you can see, the epic is of the same level. So this is only level 13. So if I get better gear, I can upgrade it even further. Now the question is, what happens if I put an epic item in here, such as these? Oh, so the epic purple gets converted into a kind of a yellow. Yeah, so there is a level higher. Okay, that's really cool. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing this for the first time, just as you are, so that's pretty neat. I think I like that system's in place to give you something to use all this crap you pick up in the game. Alright, moving on. Skills menu really has not changed too much, so we don't have to worry about that there. Just kind of the standard action RPG character screen. The characters are still only 2. Auroch, the barbarian, and Lofi, the kind of summoner, I suppose. She's really cool, very light and agile. 2 characters are planned. They have been giving hints at those 2 characters on their Facebook page, so you can kind of get their lore, but no idea exactly how they're going to fight just yet. As you can see, the delete for the character still is not available, so you can't clear progress if you so desire. Honestly, it may not even be that big of a deal anymore because they're giving you incentive to go into the world and play these lower level instances because of the questing system. So that was kind of the big thing for me when I was going through before. It's like, well, I would kind of like to be able to reset the character and go through the story again or something like that, and that would still be nice. But part of the reason of going back through the lower levels was just really just a level before, but now there's quests, and that really gives you that incentive, that bonus saying, hey, I want to go and I want to play this level again because I could get something out of it. Now let's see if there's anything real different about the store. No, nothing really too different. You still have the preview. You can take a look at what an item is going to look like. Of course, that's the same. I can just... Oops, I didn't mean to buy that, actually. That's my mistake. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this out there then, since that just happened. I just lost a few crystals. To the developers, if you catch this video, they have caught the other ones, by the way. I've gotten good feedback there. I would put in a warning here. The fact that I clicked on that by accident and spent my real money currency, and I was not prompted, am I sure I want to do that? It hurts. So I just accidentally... I haven't put any money into this game yet. Okay, so the crystals I was given was kind of a gift, kind of given to me gratis, which sucks that I just wasted that, because I might have used those for something else, such as additional chances at tournaments or something like that. I'm not even sure if this helmet I just bought is any good. Fire and water resistance, so it might not be. And that's a shame. So right there is some feedback directly from me to the developers. Get a warning in there for making purchases to confirm the purchase. Instant purchases like that can really lead to buyer remorse and will of course increase any kind of response tickets or trouble tickets you might get. So that is definitely something I would look into. Alright, do they have a featured tab? Yes, they do have a featured tab. So you can get the massive Chronarch chests, which have random items in it for 50 crystals. Looks like you can buy crafting materials here, Yggdrasil Amber for 3 crystals. I remember these crystals being really cheap. I don't even think that's a cent. I think that is less than a cent or something like that. I cannot remember how many crystals you got for real world currency. I will have to look into that. In fact, is there a... So Guild and PvP coming soon. Is there a boost coming soon? Yeah, okay, let's click on the add crystals button. There it is. Let's take a look. So 10 crystals is $1, so it's not 100 to 1, so it's more than I thought. But you definitely get a lot of them for spending more money. So 10 crystals is $1, so we're looking at maybe 10 cents. So I spent maybe 40 cents there. So that's not terrible. Obviously, this game is not designed to make you have to spend a ton of money, which is something I really respect out of them. The stuff that you can buy for cheap is quite a bit. So, but at the same time, even if it's not a great big amount, you want to prevent errors in the future, and there could be a grievous issue there down the line if that's not taken a look at. So, all right, let's play. Let's play. I've given that feedback. Let's go and do a dungeon here. Maybe something I haven't done before. We can do here. This one is of my level, difficulty 13 to 17. I don't have any quests. Should I do that, or should I get a crafting material? Let's go ahead and get one of the crafting materials. Let's see, what is the level of this? This is 8 to 12, so I can put this on a higher level. You still see I can't do heroic until I beat the harder difficulty. So let's do this. We're going to get the quest and get the crafting material. Now I am still using a emulator for keystrokes on my GamePad, so I'm using Joy 2 Key with my DualShock, and I find that to be the way to play. It can be a little difficult because there's a ton of buttons now. They've increased the number of active items you can use from 2 to 4. So they've opened it up, really. They've even added a whole bunch of usable weapons. Like I had rocks that I could throw at the enemy. Unfortunately, I don't have any of that set up. I hadn't found anything new. But I like the fact that there are more items that I can use in combat. So right now I just have potions, as you can see at the bottom. Only potions. But there are things like rocks, bombs, and things like that that you can basically pick up and use in your inventory. Now the combat is still very fluid and very nice. They've added all the attack cancel animations that I had talked about in the very first video I made. It makes it very much more fluid, and it makes it so that you know that you screwed up, because if you, while you're in the middle of attacking, you can block instantaneously, and you know that it's your fault if you get hit now. And so they've done a really good job there. They've added random environmental stuff, as you can see. Looks like traps. I ran across a green fluid that actually increased my size and my damage. So there you go. You can see I did a block there right out of my attack and avoided an enemy damage. In fact, that right there is one of the features of this game that's really nice, is there is a perfect guard system. That if you've played other combat games like this, then you know that if you block at exactly the right moment, you will take no damage. In fact, it's a counterattack. If I do it at the exact right moment, it does additional damage to the enemy. And here I can kick them into the trap, and I can run into the trap if I'm not careful. We'll go ahead and show off some of my major abilities. This one I just got. This one's pretty cool. You can just keep tapping it to keep doing a whole bunch of attacks. It's quite beautiful. The numbers are flying all over the place, and it's kind of nice that it looks like something they've done is the critical strikes are showing up as larger numbers, which is something I've seen other games like this do, other action RPGs do. The crit numbers are either done with a splash or done with are made larger. And I like that. I like that. The thing is the numbers are already kind of big to begin with, so I'm noticing that a lot of numbers are flying, and it can be a little bit distracting. So what I might suggest there is maybe if the numbers were a little bit smaller at a base level, still make the critical strikes be a bigger number, you know, make it look bigger. But if the overall size of it was reduced, it might be a little less distracting, because if I go in, I'll go in now with one of my really fast attacking skills, my tornado. And let's see how that feels, and see if it becomes a little bit cluttered. It seems like it might. But as I was saying before, I love the fact that there's 4 items, because honestly before, the only thing you would carry would be health potions for some things, or maybe health potions, mana potions. Now you don't have to choose anymore. You can do health potions, you can do mana potions, you can do rocks, whatever you want on your character. So now you've got 4 skills that you get by leveling up, and 4 items that you can get by finding them on the ground. So I like that. I'm very much a fan of that change. Oh, there's another trap. Now this thing is actually a portal generator, so part of my strategy for getting a large combo might not be to break that right away. Of course, once I do break it, it blows up. I do love the fact that you're still given multi-kill bonuses for killing champions. They even included the variation bonus. I believe I mentioned that in the last video where I looked at this game, where one of the things I had suggested was, you know, hey, what happens if you get a bit more bonus points because you're not using stale combos, right? So one thing you can do in games like this to get high combos is cheese it. You can sit there and just use basic attacks and just keep using like this, keep running and single attacking, and that gives you a combo, right? Oh. So hit. If I can just keep doing that, you see I'm still getting hit combos, but my variation's not going up because I'm not using more than one attack. Alright, so let's go ahead and use the tornado. You see quite a few numbers there flying around the screen. And so yeah, I can think that might get just a touch bit distracting with a lot of enemies on the screen. Now this is a cool part that's been added, is it used to be when you beat the level you would get a treasure chest and you beat it to get gold to fly out and items. Now the chest always gives you an item based on what you saw on the selection screen. So that list of items that you saw when I chose this quest will be in that chest. And the chest gets bigger with the higher rank. So you saw the chest got better and better because of the B rank. If I got a really high ranking, like a triple S, the chest will become more and more ornate, and it will improve the quality of the loot that you find in it. Again, it ultimately got me an epic item. So because I completed the quest, we can see there's a little bit of dialogue here for basically telling me that I've completed the quest. So a little bit of dialogue thanking me for doing the job, and here it is. I got the amber, and it's in my inventory now. I can just go ahead and hit enter. And what I want to do is see that item that I bought. it looks like I can get more health with less armor with this. It's kind of difficult, really. Fire and water resists. I kind of like the health, though, because that is 93 health. Well, it looks like I did find a ring. Or no, that was the ring I was crafting with. So let's just go ahead and put that back on. So here we go. This is an example of an item you can have. So this is Philip's foot. It gives me attack speed and movement speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it on there, and we'll take a look at it and see, how it works. And it looks like I got a few more items. This one gives me health, but a little bit less armor. But it also gives me movement speed. That's a new attribute, by the way. I don't believe movement speed was available as an attribute in this game before, so it's nice to see that. So now I have to avoid selling these boots. Now here's a problem that this might create, though. Before, my inventory filled up with things like these moldy boots, and I was just selling them. And now I am compelled to keep them for the simple fact that I might need them in crafting. So your inventory space in this game is really not terribly large. You can see here it's kind of small. Now the inventory does change between characters, so that's not a big deal. I can always get to another character or something like that. This might not be too big of a deal because typically you're going to look at your gear and decide if you want it or not, and you're going to throw it away if you don't. So even though the inventory is not big, it may not be a problem. But it might be something they want to think about in the future, just in case, because if you start getting a whole bunch of items like sticky bombs and bonuses and things like that, this inventory, the way it's designed and the small space it provides, can very quickly get filled up, and that could be a challenge. Of course, that could also be by design. They may want you to really think about what you get. Now, this kind of quest here that I just clicked on, you can see there's actually an introduction into this quest. So I'm actually getting a little bit of communication here from the Harbinger and telling me about the corruption. And so here's the quest where, again, you pretty much get this for completing the level. I go through, defeat these enemies, and I will get this item. Now, for this level, I could also get a helm and some boots. What I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the difficulty level to make the monsters a little bit harder. And again, it seems like that's the way to go because enemies that are harder to kill means you can build up your combo by constantly attacking. This game seems to really do better when your enemies are harder to kill. Because easy to kill enemies, obviously you're not going to get a huge combo on them. They're going to die in a couple of hits. So doing these harder missions really seems the way to play. And I think that's cool because it also tasks you to challenge yourself. Because there's a balance, right? Because even though the creatures are harder to kill, thus you can get a higher combo, some creatures are going to start blocking, they're going to have some unblockable hits, and you're going to lose your combo if you get hit. So you have to concern yourself with that. So there's definitely a lot you need to worry about regarding combos. You can't just go in constantly swinging. But if you're good at blocking, then you can still upgrade your combo quite a bit because blocking will still keep your combo going. Oh, I did not hit my block soon enough there, so let's just go ahead and knock this guy out. And as you see there, part of the problem was I killed my enemies probably just a little bit too quick. And so now I have to see if I can't... Uh-oh. I was going to try and continue my combo by using this guy here, but it didn't quite work out the way I planned. Now, there have been elemental enemies and things like that added to this game. I believe they were added in the last video as well that I did, but I didn't really get a chance to talk about it too much. I've noticed things like poison fields they can put on the ground, fire fields. They're all really cool effects that you have to watch out for, but sometimes what I've noticed, something that really sucks is if an enemy puts a poison field on the ground, you may have a difficult time avoiding it, and any damage you take appears to break your combo. And right there, unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to continue it. So if I get hit by this poison damage, or at least step in the poison field, it seems like it screws up the combo, and it would be nice if it didn't, because sometimes the poison fields and things like that get difficult to walk around. there can be giant fields of fire, giant fields of poison, and you just really can't do anything about it, and it kind of kills your score. And I think that's kind of a cheap way to do it. I think that if there's going to be a persistent damage that you have to walk through, then maybe that shouldn't count against you, because it doesn't break your stride. I'm not even completely convinced that that's really a problem. I mean, it's definitely something that you can avoid through skill, but I have noticed where some monsters, like you could have more than one monster with one of these fields, and they'll put it down right in the middle of the field, and so there's this impassable barrier that you basically can't get through, and so the monsters, in a way, cheaply deny you your combination skills. And so that's kind of a shame, but not a game breaker by any means. I still think it's a very fun game. I want to get to the end of my character tree and try some of the later abilities, and I really want to try Lofi out some more. I have a thing about agile fighters. I like having speed, and Lofi is definitely a character that is very akin to that. Lofi has a lot of high mobility abilities as well. But Auroch here is a pretty solid fighter as well, with a lot of moves. The spinning tornado has been fun so far. I kind of like the tree I've dabbled in. The other tree is a bit more defensive, which would actually help me with my combos more. If I was doing more, if I had more defenses rather than more offenses, I could string out my combos a little more. There we go. Now I do have some abilities that can help me continue my combos, so what I'll do here is activate there my electric skin. That can help me keep my combo going when I touch an enemy. But it's not perfect, as you can see. I can still lose it. Still having a little bit of issue with hitting some enemies on the two-dimensional plane. I noticed that, like, right there, though, what you can see is that there is some attempt to try and prevent that. When I attacked that spider, I was a little bit below it, and what I noticed is when I swung, my character kind of snapped into frame, or into that lane just a little bit, kind of moved up a bit, and I was able to attack. So they have done a little work on it, but there is still sometimes this issue where you might be a little bit below or above and not hitting. Oh, and by the way, I really do love those boss introductions now, where it shows you the name of the boss when they jump in. It's kind of cool. Alright, so let's see. Let's go ahead and use that ability I picked up, the number 4. There you go. There it is. Wow! How much movement speed did that say it gave me? Look how fast I'm moving. I am sprinting without sprinting. It's like a perma-sprint. This is crazy. Oh, this is beautiful. Items like this are going to be great for continuing your combos. Even continues while I'm using my tornado. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, that is fantastic. I really like that. They've got some really neat ideas here. I'd like to see that I could craft items like that, maybe. That would be really cool. I don't know what how you would do it. Maybe if I put in the junk into the crafting generator, and it would if it would allow me to make items like that, that would be pretty cool. You know, the crafting doesn't always have to be about gear. It can be about those items like that that really help you on your journey just to get better combos. So, I'm gonna use my really big hitter there. Oh, that's satisfying. Didn't do too hot. I was really hoping I might get a better combo to show you guys off some of the better loot. But you see there, the chest has gotten bigger. And unfortunately, I cannot recall the mission that I got a triple S on. Otherwise, I'd probably do it again. I wish I'd recorded it so I could show it. Partially because, you know, it felt good and I kind of want to show off a little. But, you know, and there's that. That is what this game is really about, isn't it? It's about just doing well, having a good score, and showing it off to people that are watching. So I've got the troll beasts. I've done well, and we get the item, the blades. Excellent. So good way, more ways to get gear. I can't argue with that. Quests for gear, and unfortunately, not quite as good as what I had, but it does give me more health. So right there, I have a choice between attack power or defense, but I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with my with my attack power, because it is my weapon. So there you go. The challenges still there. Each one of these, just like before, still takes a token to play. The tournament is still in the game, which again takes a token to play. And as you saw from the beginning, from the opening area, you can get these really cool items for participating in the tournament and getting in the top 3 scores. So lots of just really cool stuff here. It seems like these developers are doing a really great job of trying to keep the game active and keep it interesting. They are definitely doing a lot of promotion. Their Twitter feed is very active. As a matter of fact, I recently did a live stream of Chronoblade, and it was kind of a random night. It was one of the mini games I was playing that night, and they even contacted me afterwards, like, hey, next time you do that, let us know. We'd be more than happy to let people know you're doing that. So their PR and their devs are very active, and that to me is a really great indicator of what this game can be. Is with the dev teams so passionate, and that's really what it feels like. It feels like they're really passionate about this game. And you get glimmers of that from other studios sometimes, but it's nice to actually see them doing it through action, not just by saying, hey, we love you guys, and so they definitely have my support, and they definitely have my respect. And so I'm really interested to see. This game has come quite a ways from when I first started playing it, and I can see them only moving forward. I would love to see them add more worlds, more characters. Right now they've only got plans for 4, but there could be more. They could add tons of characters. They've got so much liberty with a 2D brawler game just to add all sorts of over-the-top attacks and abilities. And right now there's no PvP, so they can make it as lopsided as they want to make the characters fun. And then they could also, depending upon how they want to do PvP, they could make it so that the skills are either dialed back or have different values. That's something that Blizzard, for example, has been very hesitant to do in recent terms, is to balance PvP separately than PvE. They don't want there to be a huge dissonance between what a skill does between the two. But sometimes, to make a single-player game fun, you want to have something unbalanced, just to make that character feel truly powerful. But you don't want to put that in the PvP, because then players will feel cheapened. Wow. Okay. So there's definitely, I'll be interested to see how that works out, how PvP will work out, and even guilds. The fact that you can have guilds in this, it makes me wonder, what are they going to do with that? What are they going to do with guilds? Because it's, at this point, a predominantly single-player game. Is guilds going to tie into PvP? Is it going to be multiple players? Is it going to be more than 1 versus 1? Is it going to be groups of people? Is it going to be asymmetrical gameplay? Is it going to be a challenge mode? Are you going to be able to fight directly, or are you going to have these modes where you do sieges, or whoever kills the most NPCs, or something like that? Again, there are so many possibilities, and they seem, not only do they have their own great ideas, but they're taking community ideas. So at this point, anything goes. So I urge you to try the game at chronoblade.com, and their forums are available. It's just forums.chronoblade.com, and you can see for yourself just how active they are in their listening. They've got a huge master list of issues and suggestions. I mean, there's literally a thread in there with all the suggestions that people have really given them, that they said, hey, you know what, that sounds cool, let's add it to the list and see if we can do something about it. So if you have thoughts, if you have ideas, please go and tell them what you think, and there might even be a good chance that that idea will find its way into the game. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I'll see you next time.